I'll be a Williams racing driver in 2019.
Great to hear that Williams have finally put together the deal to run George Russell next year with Mercedes power. Obviously Mercedes helping with that move, but it can't help feeling that this is going to be a major step forward for Williams. Can't underplay the importance of drivers in the overall package. Of course, it's easy to say, as Enzo Ferrari once did when asked, what is the composition of a win? How much of it is driver, how much of it is car? Of course, the answer correctly, as Enzo Ferrari said, 60% car, 40% driver. And you could say, looking at Williams this year, looking at Williams last year, they just haven't had the car to justify their facilities and the sort of budget with which they've been running. Having said that, of course, the sign of a great driver is that he's able to produce with the engineers a car that makes his job easier. Let me rephrase that. If, for example, Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen had been driving for Williams from the start of this year, I'd be willing to put my house and my Lotus Elan and anything else I might have on the fact that the Williams now would be a quicker car. For the simple reason that when you've got two drivers absolutely on the limit, or even one driver absolutely on the limit all the time, and I think George Russell falls into this category, the engineers then are fixing things on the car that need to be fixed, as distinct from things that maybe the driver can solve with different inputs into the car. A good example of that is an average day with Rob Wilson when a driver might say, I'm getting a bit of understeer here. But the understeer can be cured by coming out of the brake pedal, pressure release at a different rate, loading up the steering against that at a different rate. And this is what, of course, makes the great drivers who they are. A Michael Schumacher, an Alain Prost, a Lewis Hamilton, and indeed a Max Verstappen will know the things that they can fix with their style and the things that the engineers need to be working on. So when you have a team like Williams with two drivers who perhaps are very good at terms of feedback in the general sense of the word, the car's understeering here, it's got no traction there, but don't have the experience or dare I say the talent to be able to fix some of those problems themselves, the engineers start working on problems that don't really need to be fixed and take them away from the reality of the development of the car. So to go back to my analogy, Lewis and Max driving for Williams this year, if you now put Lance Stroll and Sergei Sirotkin in the car that Lewis and Max have been driving all year and set up all year, I guarantee they would be midfield. So it's not to say that they're not quick drivers, it's just that they don't have the ability, for whatever reason, to make the car a quick one. And I think George Russell will bring that to Williams. It'll be interesting to see who they get for the other driver. I hope it's Artem Markelov, but it looks like he's got some personal problems at the moment, which may affect his ability to put the budget together for that. Very sad that we still have to talk about budgets with teams like Williams, drivers bringing budgets. If you think back to the days of Frank signing Ralf Schumacher for a ridiculous amount of money when he had to take up the options on Ralf, and indeed paying Alex Zanardi a ridiculous amount of money not to race for Williams after year one. It's sad that we're now in the situation where Williams do have to look to another driver to bring money into the team. And I have a final thought for Oliver Rowland, another talented British driver. He was winning Formula 2 races when George Russell was in GP3, winning the championship in GP3. Oliver's been on some sort of Williams deal this year, doing simulator work. No mention, of course, of Oliver in the driver lineup for races in 2019. And that's sad. He's a very talented driver as well. But congratulations to George Russell. Good to see that. Good to see a British driver doing so well. He's going to fly in the Williams.